It is an honor today to have Calvin Correli on the podcast. Calvin works from a single premise. Your outer world, your business, your wealth, your impact is a direct reflection of your inner code. This philosophy is the foundation of Simplero, the all-in-one engine that has generated $817 million plus for sovereign creators. It stands as proof that scale comes from debugging your inner code, not from endlessly complicating your outer systems. As the mind debugger, he now teaches founders how to find and dismantle the mind bugs, the invisible code that sabotages growth, so they can build their empire on true alignment, not hustle and borrowed playbooks. His latest frontier is Coaching 3.0, a new paradigm he engineered to make personal breakthroughs a daily practice, not a rare, expensive event. Calvin, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. It's great to be with you this morning. I was actually listening to that intro because must have been a minute or two ago that you wrote it, because I was just checking. It's 857 million as of
Whoa!
Keeps going up.
Keeps going, as we would hope, right?
Exactly. It would be weird if it was the other way around.
That's right.
Welcome to Catalytic Leadership, the podcast designed to help leaders intentionally grow and thrive. Here is your host, author, and leadership and executive coach, Dr. William Attaway.
I would love to start, Calvin, with you sharing some of your story with our listeners, particularly around your journey and your development as a leader. How did you get started?
Whoa. I was a very hesitant leader. I was very hesitant to be leading. Actually, I remember my first moment with leadership that I recall was when I was in college. I was studying computer science in Denmark, where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And at one point there was this student occupation. The students were occupying the faculty. And the reason why was there was some sort of strike amongst the faculty. And we students were like, screw that. We want to learn. We're here to learn. So we set up our own teaching classes. We would teach each other and do TA, and we would stay till 1, 2 a.m. No alcohol, no nothing, just teaching and learning and studying and executing. And it was really fun. And I emerged as one of the, I just felt I felt this leadership vacuum. So I'd get up in a chair and start to gather a crowd and start to direct people. And it was my first inclination is maybe I can actually be a leader of some sort. It was a completely foreign thought to me at that point. So that was the first time. But then, I started the software company. I started Simplero because I was doing what I call spiritual entrepreneurship, spiritual coaching for entrepreneurs. Uh-huh. This was back in 2008 was when I got into that and needed software. And so I built the software, and for the first long period of time, it was just me, and then eventually started to hire some team members. And the beginning I felt so unworthy and so insignificant that if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I would love to work for you. Do you have a job?" I felt obligated to hire them. Whether they had skills, whether they solved the problem I needed. I was just "Oh, you want to work with me? Yeah. How much do you want to be paid? Okay, I'll pay you that. Maybe you can do some support, something." I was
That's great.
Yeah. So I did that. And it was it didn't work out great,
Right.
Exactly. Not surprisingly, but probably. And then later I stumbled into this one guy who was a brilliant programmer, also from Denmark. He actually also I live in Malibu now. He lives in LA. So it's kind of fun. We both ended up around here, and he's awesome. His name is Nick. And he was my first employee where I was this is amazing. He's so good. He's way better than me. I'm you take that over. And then I actually started making music. So I started getting into singing and producing songs, and my hair grew long and I colored it. So there's some photos of me out there. It's really fun to watch. And I was deep into that for a year, 2 years or something, where I was kind of abdicating the whole thing, just letting him run the company. And then I eventually hired a couple people to do support for me. And so one of these people are still on the team today, which is amazing. And then eventually it's kind of mushroomed into a 30-person team or something. And there's a moment where I realized that I had the pattern that I was playing at that point. Well, let me back up for a second. I'll actually say, so after this Nick guy, he ended up leaving to start his own company and wanting to do his entrepreneurial journey, which I support. And then I was back at the keyboard myself. Like I had nobody else. I'm not running a software company. So like, okay, I got to code again. And I really, really struggled to find engineers to replace him, to find good engineers. And so that was a moment of like, this is what I always do when I'm faced with a business challenge. And this is what I do with my clients as well. There's the outer piece, like what is the strategy? Where do you post a job ad? How do you vet people? How do you find them? Like what's the profile of the person? All of these things, right? And everybody has like a million systems and tactics and strategies for those things. But then there's the inner piece. Like what is it in me emotionally that's blocking this? And for me at that point, it was that I got so much praise from my dad for being good at programming. It was how I connected with my dad, with my father. It was how I felt like he saw me, or saw a part of me at least. And so for me to find another person to be better than me as a programmer was threatening, because like maybe dad's going to love him more, right? Subconsciously, that was a threat to me. So there was this like cross purposes. The first guy I just stumbled into. So it just kind of happened. But beyond that, it was like, oh, I'm actually scared of hiring really good engineers. So once I cleared that block, I was actually able to find some good people. And now I have an amazing engineering team. And then the last piece was on the like real leadership, which was the way it landed for me was a friend of mine who's a Navy SEAL. And as a Navy SEAL, he's obviously, seen a lot of trauma, right? And a lot of traumatized people. So he has this process he developed of identifying what's the core trauma that's running your life. And his premise is that there's always one that got imprinted first. And the way that your brain works is it pattern matches. So like something happened, you did something to survive, and you're here today. So from the point of view of your subconscious mind, it was a complete success because you survived, and that's the only purpose. And so now the way the brain works is it'll pattern match to find situations that looks like the circumstances when this original imprint happened, and then it'll do the same trauma response. So that's why we get stuck in that same response over and over. And so every subsequent trauma is like a variation of that typically. And so for me, what he identified was that I was born with my birth trauma, which was I was born not breathing. And so kind of near dead. And then they smacked me and I breathed, and I'm here today, put me in an incubator for 48 hours. But that was a major imprint of like, like coming out here and like, what is this? Not breathing, dead. Maybe like a tunnel and the other side and all that things that we hear people say. I have no memory of these things. But then the complete isolation for 48 hours of like, what is like, I don't belong. I'm not safe. I'm like, I'm not wanted. Like all of them, like all these imprints that happened at that point. So what he pointed out to me is that because he had the same birth trauma, was that what that left him with, and I really recognized that in me, was a pattern of being half in, half out. So almost like coming into this world and be like, do I really want to be here? I'm not sure. Should I like, head out of here? Like, and so I can see that I've played that pattern in all kinds of relationships. And at that point, as a leader of this company, of Simplero, I was doing exactly that. I was talking to people about, hey, can you be my chief of staff in that, but really kind of lead the company? I hired a COO and it cost me $500,000 of like trying that route. And I tried to hire this president. I even talked to one of our competitors where their like leader had just exited, whatever. And I was like, hey, maybe you can come over here and run this company. And this really like smacked me back in my power to realize, no, like I'm the freaking CEO. It's got to be me. Like I stopped trying to hire someone to be it. Right. So I know this is a long answer to your question. Like, what's my journey with leadership? But that's my journey with leadership.
No, I think that's brilliant, Calvin. And I think that a couple of things jump out at me there. One, just because you're really good at one thing does not mean you're really good at finding, hiring, and leading people.
Oh crap. Like it's been a journey, man. Like it's been a journey. And like the knee-jerk response when you're someone like me who got really good at stuff yourself, right? It's like, let me just go back to doing that again.
Yes, exactly. And then that's almost an abdication, right? And you try to find somebody else to take care of it for you, right?
Yep.
And then you realize, wait a minute, I can't delegate my role, the role that's only mine.
Yeah.
And I think that's key. And I hope our listeners are taking note of that, because this is something I see again and again. Somebody's really good at providing a product or a service or a task, and they're phenomenal at that. And then as they find success, they have to hire people to help them with fulfillment, and then they have to lead those people. And that's a different skill,
And trying to hire for the wrong thing in the wrong way. Like for me, like I'm very good at programming. I'm very good at the coaching that I do. I'm not that great at marketing per se, but I'm very good at, well, I am actually quite good at it, but I tell myself that I'm not. I've told myself that I'm not, but what I am extremely good at is figuring stuff out. So the process of just getting in there and just every day executing, and every day I get better. Every day I learn something new about it. I'm very good at that. And I've tried to delegate that a million times. I'm like, I want to get really good at organic content, for example. Let me hire someone to be the CEO of organic content and have him figure it out. Does not work. Does not work. Never, ever worked for me, right? But if I dedicate myself to it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this my number one focus for the next 100 days. And I'm going to dedicate at least 100 minutes a day to just figuring this out. In 100 days, I will probably have figured it out. If not 200 days, whatever. At some point, I will have figured it out. Now I have a playbook. Now I can hire someone to run that playbook. But for me, trying to hire someone to make that playbook has never worked. And I can apply that to any area. I guarantee you, like that's what I did with music and production, with singing, like any area I can dedicate 100 days or whatever. If I'm really in there, I will master it, and I will then have a playbook I can hire someone to. But I don't know if that's a rare skill. To me, it's like just natural. It's like, what, like why wouldn't, like, that's how, isn't that how it's done? I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be how most people operate.
That's a good word.
And I think it's something that sets founders apart, right? Like we don't know how to do anything. We just figure it out. And I don't know, I guess that's why we're founders.
That's it. So you came up with Simplero. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, generating $857 million in revenue is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
What is this product exactly?
It's all-in-one platform for coaches, course creators, consultants. Like I like to think of like Shopify is for physical products, and Simplero is like that for digital products. Anything that doesn't have to be shipped physically via mail. Like we handle like actually way broader than Shopify, because it's like it's your website, it's all your landing pages and your funnels and your shopping carts and checkouts and affiliate tracking and memberships and core communities and courses, and you've got the AI integrated into that. It's like it's really all in one place, because most coaches, they end up with like I call it the Frankenstack of like 5
100%.
tools, like 10 tools or whatever. And you have to like upload your logo everywhere. You have to figure out how they connect, and you got to like which does what, and they all work a little different. So your brain has to constantly context switch between them. And then there's all these brittle integrations, whether it's with apps or glue or duct tape or rubber bands, like, or sneaker wear, whatever you do to glue them together. And it always breaks exactly when you're on vacation and your family's hanging out by the pool and you're ready to sip margaritas, and you're just like, now I got to sit here and figure this out. And then you reach out to the support of one person, and they're like, no, it's not our fault. It's these fat guys over there. And then you talk to them. It's like, no, it's not us. It's them. And like, you're like, can someone just like take ownership here and figure this out? And so you end up being a systems janitor and not a coach. And like, that's not how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
That's a good word. I can resonate with that. Early in my practice, that's exactly what I had. I had a tech stack that was tied together with duct tape integrations that would break at the worst times. That was exactly my experience. And so Simplero fixes that.
It does. Yeah. So
I love that.
The all-in-one fully integrated software. We're also like we're a small company. Like we're more of a boutique versus like not small. Like we've, like again, our people have generated soon almost $1 billion, right? But compared to many of the other players out there, we're pretty boutique. Like it's easy to reach me, and like we move really fast, and there's a very personal feel. Like we were just my team was helping someone move over from I don't know what she was using before, and she sent this beautiful note saying, "Hey, I just felt so cared for by your team," right? Especially because she was going through a difficult time in her personal life. She's like, it just means so much to me how cared for I felt. And that's something that I'm really proud of. Built a team that really cares. And to me, it's like, we're in an industry that's obviously growing, right? And there's been some big exits, and some companies have like, taken hundreds of millions of dollars in investments and all that stuff. We're fully bootstrapped, no outside capital. I own 100%. It's like,
Wow.
It's a very different way of playing the game. And it's like, I realized early on that there's no there to get to, right? It's not like, I gotta sell this company and then I'll have like $1 billion or $100 million or $10 billion or whatever it is. And then I will have made it, or then I will finally feel like I'm a somebody, or then I'll finally, people from back home, they're going to look up to me and be like, oh my God, Calvin, you are incredible. You made it. Or my parents are finally going to see my worth, or whatever it is like we're hoping for. Or I'll never have to worry about anything. It's a mirage, right? It's a complete mirage. I got an email. This is really early in my journey, like before I started Simplero, but after I had this realization around spirituality and entrepreneurship. I was starting to blog, and I got this email from this guy, Eric, in San Francisco. I don't remember his last name. And he was like, I was just reading your blog and it really resonated. I'm the founder of a mobile social gaming startup. Remember, this is in 2008, right? The iPhone launched in 2007. It's like really early in this. And we just got an acquisition offer for $300 million. And this is what I've been working towards my entire adult life. And I've never been more depressed. What's going on?
Wow.
I was on a podcast yesterday with someone who had recently sold his company, and he was like in this midlife crisis. I have never met a founder who exited their company who didn't go through a major depression. Never happened. And so this guy, Eric's luck was that he realized it before he actually sold, because he was like, the money was within reach and it was close enough for him to feel it and realize that he had always put like the answer, joy, happiness, success, whatever it is, and on the other side of this mythical exit event of having the money. And now that it was within reach, he realized, oh crap, I wouldn't be happy.
Wow.
I thought I was going to be happy when it happened. Now it's kind of here. I can feel it. I can taste it. It's within reach. Like, crap, I'm still not happy. Crap, I still have the same issues with, I don't know, my body, my health, with worth, like whatever it is. We didn't get into that. But now it's worse. It's worse because I don't have a strategy anymore. Before, I had a strategy. It's like, okay, this is miserable. This is terrible. I can't stand this. But on the other side, when I have this exit, then everything's going to be great. And now he was like, oh, great, I have this crap. And it's like, there's never any completion to this thing, right? Like, sure, if you want the exit, if you want the money, that's great. Like, I'm not against that. Take the money. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't imagine that it's going to give you anything that it's not. Money can only solve money problems. There are lots of things that money can solve, but ultimately, why do we want anything? And this is a pattern that we all do. We feel something, like, kind of subconsciously, but it's like, it's there as like a gnawing feeling of like I don't know. And then we're like, I feel like maybe if I had this car, maybe if I had this house, maybe if I had this money, maybe if I had another child, maybe if I had a six-pack, maybe if whatever, like maybe if I was like on stage speaking or singing or whatever, then I would feel like, make your pick, right? I'm safe, I'm enough, I'm worthy, I'm wanted, I'm like, whatever. So it's like, but what it is, it's just a feeling that we don't want to be with. And so we don't want to be with that feeling of like feeling like I'm a nobody, for example. It's like, oh crap, I'm a nobody. I don't want to be that. Like, let me be somebody. Let me do some things so I can feel like somebody. So we instantly, instead of actually going inside to where the feeling is, we go outside to circumstance and we find some piece of evidence. Like, oh, it's because I only have one house. It's because I only have 3 Ferraris. Like, whatever. We find some evidence in the circumstance for why I must feel this way. And then we look at that and we try to fix the circumstance. And then we hope that when we fix the circumstance, we get the 4th Ferrari. Then, now I'm going to be there. And it works for like 14 seconds or maybe 14 days if you're lucky and you feel amazing. And then like you're just back to the same and you need another one, right? There's a famous clip with Jim Carrey where he's being introduced as like 2-time Golden Globe award-winning winner Jim Carrey. And he comes up, go look this clip up, it's fantastic. He comes up and he's like, 2-time Golden Globe award-winning Jim Carrey. Yeah. When I go to bed at night, I'm not like normal people. I don't sleep like normal people. I sleep like 2-time Golden Globe award-winning Jim Carrey. And then he goes on, and then he's like, eventually he's like, if only it'd been 3. It really doesn't. And that's when you, in the intro where you talked about, like, this is the core where everything in your life is actually a projection of what's in your mind. It's where that is what gives the shape to everything that's in your circumstance. And so when the things in your circumstance aren't how you want it, or just like, when you want to change your circumstance, change this, that's the game. And instead of trying to change circumstance so that you can finally feel how you want to feel, start by feeling how you want to feel, because that's something that's entirely within your power. You're not a victim of circumstance in terms of how you feel. You get to feel however you want to feel. Practice feeling how you want to feel. And then you don't start chasing the things because you hope they're going to make you feel something that they never will, because it never worked. You change them because you want to, because it's fun. Like, hey, I got to build this thing because it's exciting. It's fun. Like, I got to do something with my time, right? Like, why not build something that's fun with people that I enjoy building with customers that I enjoy being with, right? Like, that's the whole point. Like, I'm not trying to build this up to some massive thing that I can sell so that every customer is just a stepping stone to another milestone, to like getting to the point where I can sell it so I can be rid of it. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm actually here to enjoy every moment with my team members and with my customers, and just do amazing together because it's fun.
And I think that's a differentiator. I really do, because, in the age of AI, it's all about greater efficiency, more workflows, like let's automate as much as possible. But you can't automate what you just said. You can't automate that. And I think that becomes a differentiator when you focus on the human aspect of this.
Exactly.
And the fact that you have a customer who said, man, I felt like I was cared for. You're creating an environment where people feel valued.
Yes.
And that's something AI can't do. And
Exactly,
I think that becomes something that as humans, we have the ability to do for one another, to help people feel known and seen and heard and valued.
Exactly.
And that sounds like exactly what you're doing in the team culture that you've created.
Yeah. It's a miracle. It is.
I love it. I love it.
And that's a beautiful thing, is like my approach is like not so many 8-step systems and 3-step this and 15-step that. Like that stuff has never worked for me. I'm not like, I don't work in that way.
Yeah.
But by me constantly just cultivating my being, right? Then that like just kind of gets infused into the team. So I don't have to strategize about it. I just show up this way, and it naturally attracts people who like that. That impacts the leadership. Then they naturally hire more of the people who are like that. It's just like, it becomes an organic thing and not something that we have to have KPIs for.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you've been doing this for a minute now, and you're having to lead at a higher level today than you did even a handful of years ago. And that same thing's going to be true 3, 4, 5 years from now. How do you stay on top of your game? How do you level up with the new leadership skills that your team, your business, your clients are going to need you to have in the days ahead?
What I found is that the secret to life, I'm going to reveal now the secret to life, according to Calvin Correli on a Thursday morning.
Do it.
But first you got to pay the price of entry. No. So the secret to life is really, so I talk about the mind bugs, right? The mind bugs there's like a set of 10 core mind bugs that are core patterns in the way our brain is wired. And I've touched on a bunch of them. They are not thoughts or beliefs. They're not things that are like words that are happening in my mind consciously. They're not thoughts that I'm aware of. They live below that level, at the level of identity, at the level of the subconscious. They are words, but they're not so much thoughts exactly. So they are things like, I'm not enough, or I'm not wanted, or I don't belong, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not going to be safe. I'm not going to be okay, or I did something wrong. Like those are like they're very, very clear, sharp, essential. But again, they're not conscious. They're just how you see yourself. You don't go around thinking, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough.
Right.
It's just how you relate to the world. And so now from a place of I'm not enough, what do? Well, I need more degrees. I need more proof. I need more techniques and tactics. I need more money. I need more like whatever, like it makes you think that you're not enough. Education, I don't know what it is, right? But whatever is your rule around not enough. But it's not that you're going around thinking I'm not enough. Maybe you need more babies or more houses or more, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so here's the point. Here's the secret is that the only thing that really matters in life and the purpose of everything that happens in your life is to help you see and clear your mind bugs. The reason we come into this world is to experience what life is like in the belief, in the prison that created by the mind bug of I'm not enough, or I'm not wanted, or I'm not safe, and see, what does that feel like? Oh, that feels like kind of icky. And then to realize the lie of it and find the freedom on the other side of that. That's the whole game. And so this is what I do every day. I do work, like I talk about the outer work and the inner work, right? I do stuff. I launch an ad, or I have a sales call, or I have a meeting with my team, or I write a feature, whatever. I do the things. And then as I do it, naturally things are going to come up. Like I'm going to feel something. I'm going to be like, oh, there's something going on here. And that starts me to get curious about like, what is the mind bug that's happening here that's causing this discomfort, this stress, this like sense of like friction. And then I investigate that and I realize, oh, it's the I'm not wanted kicking in again in a new way. And then I'm like, okay, I see it. And then once you just get conscious awareness of it, that's it. You don't have to like do 14 years of therapy. I sometimes talk to people who's like, yeah, I've been in therapy for 23 years. I'm like, if you've been in therapy for 23 years, like you're doing it wrong. Like that's not like, you know,
Right.
It's like, no, we don't want to, like, if you do it right, it's like, it's instant. And that doesn't mean that you will not ever have like a feeling not wanted thing again, but it won't hit the same way and you'll be able to unravel it quicker and quicker. It's a very fast process. But to answer your question, this is it. This dance between I do something and then I go internal and look at what it brought up. That I call it the tick-tock, like back and forth. That's how I constantly up-level everything. And the beautiful thing about it is that like there's a spillover. You do it in one area and maybe it was something with business and something with like the finances or, you know, customer acquisition or a team issue or a customer issue or whatever that brought something up. Great. I look at that and now that actually transforms my relationship with my wife or my children or my body or whatever it is.
Oh, this has been fascinating today to just hear just a piece of your story. And I know people have benefited and gained so much insight here. I know they're going to want to stay connected to you and learn more about you and Simplero and everything else you're working on. What is the best way for them to do that?
So if you're a coach, course creator, consultant, service provider, and you're tired of being the systems janitor, then go check out Simplero. It's simplero.com, simplero.com, and we would gladly work with you. If you're just starting out, start a trial, and we've got an amazing support team ready to help you and plethora of free resources to help you get going in the simplest possible way. If you're already at 6 figures, reach out to me, hit me up. There's actually a link on the homepage as well for people who are already doing 6 figures. I help personally coaches, creators at 6 figures move everything over, simplify. I'm a genius at simplifying your business so that you just have more freedom, more freedom to be you, right? Like be the unique transmission that is you that can never be replaced by AI or anything else. And we'll do some mind debugging as well to find like what's the core mind bug that's been running your life till now. If you're already at 6 figures or thereabouts or above. And then for me personally, my Instagram is the best place. So if you go to my name on Instagram, it's Calvin Correli. There's 2 R's and 1 L, which is a little confusing. just by name, and follow me there, and then send me a DM. Say you found me on this podcast, and if there's anything that resonated, I'd love to hear.
Well, I will make sure all those links are in the show notes.
Okay, appreciate it.
Calvin, thank you for your time today and for being so generous with your insight. We're grateful.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's so fun to be with you.